Why your savings are trapped. The 2026 collapse versus 1929. History doesn't repeat, it rhymes, but sometimes it screams. In 1929, millions woke up to a world that no longer made sense. Banks that once promised safety became tombs of vanished wealth. And now, nearly a century later, the cycle turns again. Welcome to 2026, the year your savings might be trapped behind digital walls. Chapter 1. The Great Illusion. Back in the roaring 1920s, people believed in endless prosperity. The market soared. Banks handed out loans like candy. And ordinary people, bakers, farmers, teachers, felt rich for the first time. But beneath the surface, something was rotting. Speculation, debt, and blind faith in the system grew like a cancer. Then, on October 24th, 1929, the music stopped. Overnight, wealth evaporated. Thousands lined up outside locked bank doors, the same way people today line up in digital queues, waiting for technical issues to be resolved. The faces change. The technology changes. But the game, the illusion, remains. Chapter 2, History doesn't repeat, it evolves. Fast forward to today. We're told our money is safe, but safety doesn't live in a screen. It lives in trust, and that trust is dying. In 1929, the collapse began with stockbrokers and Wall Street tycoons. In 2026, it begins in your own bank account. Because this time there won't be a crash you can see. There will be silence, frozen screens, locked accounts, a quiet, invisible freeze in the name of stability. Central banks call it liquidity management, but let's call it what it is, financial captivity. Chapter 3. The Digital Cage. The next crisis won't need riots in the streets or paper bank runs. It will happen with a single line of code. You'll wake up one morning, check your account, and the numbers are still there. But you can't move them. Your money will still exist, you just won't own it. In 1929, banks closed their doors. In 2026, they'll simply close your access. Digital IDs, central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, automatic emergency liquidity controls. The architecture is already in place. They call it innovation. But it's not innovation, it's incarceration with a pretty interface. Chapter 4. The Silent Confiscation. In 1929, the Great Depression destroyed savings through deflation and collapse. In 2026, the destruction comes from a different weapon, inflation and control. Your savings lose value daily. You can't outpace the burn. The price of survival rises while your purchasing power melts away. Then comes the bail-in. If your bank collapses in 2026, don't expect a bailout. Expect them to take your money to save their system. It's already legal. It happened in Cyprus in 2013. It's written into global financial resolution frameworks today. You deposit your money, they label it as their liability. And when they fail, they fix it using your life savings. That's not a theory. It's policy. Chapter 5. The Shadows of 1929. After the crash of 1929, unemployment hit 25%. Families lost homes, farms, and futures. People stood in soup lines, cold, hungry, and forgotten. Now imagine that, but digital. A cashless society means dependence. Lose your job, your credit score, or your digital ID, and your access to life itself can vanish. No cash to hide, no assets to withdraw, just screens and silence. In 1929, hunger spread through bread lines. In 2026, it spreads through code. Chapter 6. Trust the system? They'll tell you the system is fine, that temporary restrictions are for your protection, that banks are more resilient now. But resilience means nothing when trust dies. When your digital account becomes a leash, when your transactions require approval and your savings become a hostage to policy, that's not safety, that's surrender. They call it financial innovation. But the truth is simpler. It's control disguised as progress. Chapter 7. The Coming Reset. The system that began in 1913 with the Federal Reserve has reached its breaking point. Debt, derivatives, and digital speculation have stretched it beyond reality. To survive, the system needs a reset, not to help you, but to protect itself. The next collapse won't be an accident. It will be engineered, managed chaos. Banks will close temporarily, transfers will be paused for maintenance, and during that blackout, everything will change. The world will reopen with new rules. Cash? Gone. Crypto? Regulated. Savings? Locked, until you comply. They'll call it the Great Financial Reset, but it will feel more like the Great Confiscation. Chapter 8. Echoes of desperation. In 1929, people begged for hope. They sold family heirlooms, pawned wedding rings, burned furniture for warmth. Today, the desperation will look different, but feel the same. People will sell their privacy for food credits, trade freedom for security, surrender their savings in exchange for stability. The system will win because fear makes people obedient. Chapter 9. The trap closes. The phrase bank run will vanish from history books, not because it stopped happening, but because it became impossible. When every transaction is digital, when every asset can be frozen, when every purchase is logged, the trap is complete. They don't need to seize your money. They just need to control the conditions under which you can use it. And that, Felix warns, is the real collapse. The collapse of freedom disguised as financial reform. Chapter 10. Survival in the New Age. Those who survive the 2026 collapse won't be the richest. They'll be the ones who saw it coming. They'll have tangible assets: gold, silver, land, food, and knowledge. They'll understand that wealth isn't a number on a screen. It's independence. The 1929 survivors rebuilt from ashes. But in 2026, rebuilding will mean escaping the digital cage. Grow your food. Hold your value. Own what you can touch. Trust what you can see. Because the next time the system fails, no one is coming to save you. The warning. History gave us a warning in 1929. We ignored it in 2008. And now, in 2026, it returns. More sophisticated, more silent, and more total. When you look at your account balance, ask yourself one question. Do I own this? Or do they allow me to believe I do? Because in the end, the collapse isn't about numbers. It's about control. And once they have it, they'll never let it go. The Great Depression was visible. The next one will be invisible. If you found this revelation important, share it. Because awareness is the first step toward freedom. This is Felix. Stay awake. Stay aware. This was your financial revelation. See you next time.